It's time to start learning guitar. If you've been thinking about learning guitar for a long time but never quite got round to it, this video is for you. Welcome to Melody Bar. Let's do it. We're going to learn about the different parts of the guitar, the names of all the strings, and then we'll finish off with a very simple melody. Let's talk about the different parts of the guitar. First of all, it may be the most obvious thing, but this is a guitar. Duh. It is actually called an acoustic guitar. There is also another type of guitar, an electric guitar. If you are starting with an electric guitar, please stick with this video because everything applies to both. This big part down here is called the body. Going up here, we have the neck. At the very top, we have the head. Essentially, all of that holds it in place. These are called the tuning pegs. We use the tuning pegs to loosen or tighten the strings to the desired note. Each string is a different note, but we will get to that later. This is called the sound hole. The strings vibrate through the sound hole, around the body, and out comes a louder sound. That is essentially how an acoustic guitar works. On the front of the neck, we have this flat part with metal lines going down. Now the metal lines are called frets, and this is called the fretboard. The two most important parts of the guitar are probably the fretboard and the strings, because those are the parts we put our fingers on to make the music. We use the frets to change the note. For example, this is an open string. By putting our fingers on the frets, we change the note. But whoa, I'm getting ahead of myself there. First we need to know the names of the open strings. An open string means we play the string without using our fretting hand. Playing the strings, we can either use our fingers or we can use a guitar pick. The best way to hold a guitar pick is to bend your first finger all the way around. You place the pick on it, so it's slightly touching the pad, but on the side of the finger. And you put your thumb flat down, so the pick comes out the side of the thumb and the finger. If you've been holding your pick differently up until now, this might feel a little bit weird, but stick with it and you will get there in the end. If you don't have a pick or want to use your hand, I was suggesting using your thumb like this. However, for this video, I am going to use the pick. Let's learn the names of all of the strings. Musical notes are essentially different pitches. Each note has a different letter that goes from A to G. That means there are 7 notes. Well, there are actually 12 notes. There are 5 notes, sharps and flats, that go between the letters, but we're not going to talk about them today. Check them out in another video. Let's find out the names of the open strings. This can be a bit confusing, but this string at the top is actually the bottom string. What? Can you guess why this is called the bottom string? The bottom string is the lowest in pitch. The top string is the highest in pitch. The bottom string is called the low E string. It is also known as the 6th string. Spoiler alert, the top string is called the high E string. The next one, the 5th string, is known as the A string. The next one is the 4th string, which is known as the D string. Next we have the 3rd string, which is the G string. The 2nd string is the B string. And if you hadn't already guessed it, the 1st string is the high E string. As you can see from this box here, each letter goes above its string. This is called a chord box, and that will come in handy later when we are learning chords. Please check out my other video about learning chords for the first time. I know this can be hard if you're learning these strings for the first time, but I've got an acronym which means you will never forget. Eddie, 8, Dynamite, Good, Goodbye, Eddie. Eddie ate dynamite. Goodbye, Eddie. Eddie ate dynamite. Goodbye, Eddie. So please do your best to try and remember the names of these strings because they will come in handy as we are learning chords and songs down the line. Now I'm going to give you a very simple melody we can learn over the open strings. If you all can find the B string, that's the second string up, where you're going to play 2 plucks on B, then we change to the high E string. I will just call it the E string for now. 2 plucks on the E string. Then we go back to the B string for 3 more plucks. So altogether it sounds like this. You may have noticed that the final B was a little bit longer than the others. Let me count with you to show you what I mean. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Play along with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's also a second part to this. We're just going to move to the G string and play a very similar pattern with a slight twist at the end. 2 plucks on G, 2 plucks on B, 2 plucks on G, but the difference is 1 final longer note on B. So the whole of part 2 goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's see the whole thing played together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hope you've got that. That's just a nice little melody to get you started with some of the open strings that you've just learned. This is just the beginning of your melody bar journey. Please like and subscribe for more videos like this one and how to start playing the frets. Melody bar, music for everyone.